Hey there, thanks for stopping by. I need to talk to you about something that happened to me that might impact you. So it happened, a ways back, but I ended up spending $12 that I didn't expect, but it was the best $12 ever. Let me tell you more about it. Hey, I'm Leslie, and when I was in my 50s, I left the United States. I left my house and my car and my job and my friends and my family, and I hopped on a plane with two carry on bags and a one way ticket. That was it. I didn't have it all figured out. I didn't know everything, but I had worked on getting a whole lot of things in place. So when I stepped on that Iceland air flight at Dulles on my way to Reykjavik, I didn't know what I didn't know. But the key was I had planned and I had enough to get me to the next phase, the next leg of my journey, the next spot on the map that I could see was where I needed to go. So that happens in life, doesn't it? When I left the country, I had no idea where I was going to end up. I mean, I had a ticket and I had a few things in mind, but longer term, I didn't know. Well, it turned out I ended up living in a country I never expected to live in. Yeah, I lived in South Africa. South Africa, yes, in South Africa, I was doing what I expected to do, but just not where I expected to be doing it. I planned on living abroad and teaching English. But South Africa did not register. It's okay, that's a story for another time. But there I was, and I was teaching these great students. I had adults from all around the world. I had Brazilian students, I had Korean students, I had some Angolan students, and they were lovely. And part of being in this environment and teaching them in this beautiful country of South Africa was let's explore. Let's make a plan. And so we got together, talked about some options, and our decision was let's explore Table Mountain. Now, maybe you're not familiar with Table Mountain. I'd encourage you to go take a look if you've never seen this beautiful part of the world. And it is indeed a mountain, and as the name implies, a table, a flat top piece of land, iconically placed again at the tip of Africa, and around it is the beautiful city of Cape Town. So there we went, got in our little van, all eight of us, and drove on down and found the parking spot, got out, and saw in front of us what we were going to be hiking up. Now, mind you, I was in my 50s and my students were half my age. But here we went. And as we started, we had heard that it would be cooler up top. So at the bottom it was pretty warm. So we were just in, light one layer clothing type things and we started. And it didn't take long for me to recognize, whew, I didn't know what I didn't know. Yes, once again, that comes true. I had planned to a certain point. I checked out the map. I checked out which trail looked like it would work. I looked at what I could look at from a chair, from a screen, from paper. It's so different when you step into reality. So that's what we did. The reality was it was intense. It was straight up, pretty much, and zigzag, zigzag, and climbing steep boulders, stepping, stretching, steep. Did I tell you steep? And a couple miles up. And my students were so kind because I was the slowest. I was the oldest. I was the least experienced. And one of the students, he just flew up that trail, bounding over the rocks, leaping like a proverbial gazelle. He just had No problem. I was grateful though because I had students around who slowed down for me, who helped me. At one point, I scraped my leg and out came the band aids and the ointments, and it was dear and exhausting and took a lot longer than we thought too, which was mostly my fault, I'm sure. But a couple hours, I think it was about 3, it was long. We finally got up to the top. And sure enough, it was cooler. Good thing we brought some extra layers. And I tell you, it was such a relief to be on the flat ground after scrambling, sliding, climbing, slipping, reaching, extending for the last few hours. And what a relief to get up top and enjoy the views and see what was up there. But I was exhausted. I was beat. And the only thing I wanted was to get a ticket. Because if you look at Table Mountain, you might see that they have one of those cool cable cars right up the mountain, right down the mountain. That's all I could think about. I was not going to climb back down that mountain. And so all I could think about, all I could focus on was get to the ticket office. Yes. And when I got there, all I could do was say, one way down, please, is what I need right now. How much is it? I don't get. That'll be $12. Not a problem. Give it to me. And I took my ticket, and then I could relax. And then I could look around at the scenery, and then I could look down over to the Atlantic Ocean and the gorgeous scenery below and Lion's Head over there. It was delightful, amazing. But it took a whole lot more than I expected. And so, what is it in this all for you? Let me just go over a couple things. One thing is pain, desperation can be really good to help us focus, right? We can kind of want to do something and think about doing something, but pain and desperation can really be the impetus we need to push us. I was there. I needed that ticket, and that is for sure. Another thing to think about is once you are focused and you start moving in that direction, you know, you just rarely don't have it all figured out, as I've explained. And so don't fret about that. Recognize the opportunity to move ahead with as much information. Again, you'll never figure it all out. Enough information to get you to the next point. And when you get there, you're going to have more confidence. Yes, you will. And then finally, you know what? Like I did as I was climbing, you'll have plenty of opportunity to compare yourself to other people as you're doing this new thing. Well, I was looking around, watching this one guy fly up the mountainside, and I was nothing like that, nowhere near able to do what he was doing. And if I had only focused on that, if I had let that be kind of stuck in my head, what a different experience I would have had. Instead, I had people around me supporting me, encouraging me. I hope I was able to encourage them as well. And so that's where my energy went. Instead of being discouraged by how fast other people were, how I was so slow, how shifting that. So there are a few things I learned climbing up Table Mountain. And, you know, it was one of the hardest things I've done, one of the most exhausting, and also one of the dearest because of the memories I have and because it helped me to see when you get curious, when you wonder about things and you start moving towards to figure it out, then you also gain confidence as you see that you can figure it out and you do have options and you can be resourceful. And then what happens? Your courage grows. You see that you're capable of more than you thought, and you're bolder and more excited and feel braver and ready to do the next thing that you get curious and wonder about. So, if any of those things are things you'd like to talk more about or find out more about, one way is look, there's my book. I wrote a book about some of these adventures in other countries, 30 stories about living across the world and 5 continents. I got lost, but getting lost in wonder is a great thing. Don't get lost in fear. Don't get lost in frustration. Get lost in wonder and start that cycle of wonder, curiosity, confidence, courage. Keep it going. Keep it going. And if I can help, let me know. Great to see you. I'll look for you next time. I'm glad you stopped by and get lost in wonder.